Race 2 coming up now, Sakitto Sprint in Japan, and a great first victory of the season went the way of Oz Phillips, who made a cracking start and held on beautifully, just drove consistently lap after lap, but held on from a late charging Graham. To be honest, Graham was there most of the race trying to pick up that win, but couldn't quite do it. He had his best opportunity actually on the run up to the line on the final lap, which was heart and mouth moment for Oz, but he did take the victory. This time we got Mark on pole position in the Ford with Coops alongside the BMW. Bingham's third in the Ford as well, and then Dom fourth. Dom picking up fifth place in the first race. Chrysler lines up fifth. He had a really decent run in that first race. Let's see if he can bring home a good midfield position in this, or even better perhaps. Oz, the man to watch, who launched it away from, I think he was fourth on the grid for the first race and managed to win it. So he's not too far back, as he's sixth there. Dukes is seventh in his Porsche, Andy eighth in the Nissan. Lee lines up ninth. He had a decent run as well, finished fourth in the end in the first race. Graham almost took that race victory and he starts 10th, so he's got a lot of work to do this time. Sam had a decent result in the first race, lines up 11th, and Dubs lines up at the back. He needs to see if he can get a better race this time. Clearly had good one lap pace. The revs are rising. We're going to see he's going to get away well out of the top five. Mark makes a decent start actually. I think he might hold on to the lead as they head down towards turn one. There's one of the cars up in the background. I think it might have been Dubs, but we're looking towards turn one because Coops is going up the inside. There's a little bit of contact, but I think Mark was already running wide. There's contact again though, and now Dom comes through, and so does Oz. It's now Dom leading. One of the BMW spinning, I think that was Coops, is tumbling down the order, but it's Dom who leads, and that was just through clever driving and good placing of his car, whilst the rest of the cars went off around him. But Oz Phillips managed to get through into second place at the same time, race winner from race one. And you know, Oz looked really quick in that first race. It's going to be difficult for Dom to hold on, but let's see what Dom can do. He's in a really good position. Mark third, Bingham fourth. So Mark obviously dropping down a bit, partly because he started to run wide, but also got tapped twice by Coops just to make sure he was definitely going wide. Bit unfortunate for Mark, but he recovered so well in the first race. Let's see what he does in this one. Oh, Bingham spinning out, and now looks like Dubs almost spun as well, just about recovers it. Graham's now up to fourth place in the Porsche. He's got a big gap to the cars in front because it is a Dom, Oz, Mark trio for the lead at the moment. And we'll go on board with the third place man at the moment. Oh, look how much quicker Oz's car is set up for the straight there. He's gone straight through. So Oz now leads the race again, but he goes in deep. Is Dom going to make a move? He doesn't. Dom's really cautious there. But Mark's having a storming recovery once more. Let's see if Mark can move up and potentially challenge for second or maybe even the win. He needs to try and get past Dom fairly quickly, I think is going to be key here. But Graham's fourth. He's slowly catching on them. If these boys battle it out enough, there'll be an opportunity. But it did look like Oz had a lot more straight line as Mark undercuts beautifully. Dom makes a bit of a mistake, but Mark capitalised fantastically and moves up to second place. And now we want to see, can that Ford take a victory? That Ford that only took one victory last season. It only had a total of 5 podiums, including that win, in all of last season, and that was raced by various different people. So let's see. It'd be really good if Mark can get on terms with Oz. Not to take anything away from Oz, but he's driving so well that we kind of want to see it get mixed up a little bit as Mark bounces over the curbs coming out the final turn. I think Oz has got quite a lot of straight line on that BMW. Look how he pulls away from the Ford. I think he's got a fair bit of boost, and Mark is going to have his work cut out. I think it... Oh, here we go. Look, Graham making a move for third place in the Porsche, but almost runs a little bit deep, but doesn't. He gathers it back together beautifully. He's a little bit wide, but that won't matter too much. So Graham now in a really strong position, and these boys loving racing these cars, I think, and they look great. Lee, we haven't really spoken about so far this race. He's moved up a little bit from his starting position. He didn't start particularly high up. He's now up to fifth. Chrysler is sixth. This is a great run from Chrysler. Really impressed by his driving. Imagine if he takes 6th place in this race as well, that'd be awesome. Dukes is 7th at the moment with Coops 8th, so Dukes having a pretty good run. Coops will be ruining his slightly aggressive start, I think. and being a little bit pushy into the first corners, which resulted in him spinning. And we've got Sam in 9th at the moment, just ahead of Dubs. So Dubs still struggling to get the grips, I think, with these Group 5 cars. Dubs going to try and make a move, is he? Yeah, because Sam's gone off. I don't think there was contact. So Dubs up to 9th, and Andy is just into the points in the Nissan for the first time, but there's a long way to go in this race. Sam 11th, and Bingham is 12th. Out front, it is game on for the lead. And it's going to be tricky to mark this. He's in a bit of a nasty position because he's got a car ahead that is a fair bit quicker on the straight, but is also quite good in the corners. So Mark is going to have to get through, I think, on one of these handling sections. He almost has an opportunity as Oz slides a little bit much, but then it's Mark's turn to slide a bit. But I think that's just getting the power down. Actually, he's recovered that beautifully, and he's just tucked in behind Oz at the moment. There's almost contact, but there's not. Don't think. Yeah, Mark driving really nicely there, actually, not to make contact, because that would have been tricky. But the difficult thing for Mark, as I was going to say before all that action kicked off, is that he has got Graham bearing down on him, and both the car ahead and the one behind have got better straight line speed. That's going to make Mark's life very hard indeed, and Graham is just not too far behind now. So we'll just go on board with the Porsche for a moment. Oh, we don't even need to go on board with the Porsche. We can see what's happening. He's driven around the outside of the Ford. Nothing at all that Mark could do about that, but Graham does run in deep. He could have recovered that a little bit better, but I think he will. Just hold it together, Mark. Don't lose it, Mark. Don't lose it. He gathers it back together brilliantly. Mark, you just get the podium, and that will be worth it. You know, these boys doing well in the Fords. They're not perhaps quite as on the money as the BMWs, so this is good stuff so far. We've got Dugamus battling it out with Chrysler. So one of the it's Coops off again in the background. Dubs is moving up a little bit, which is really good to see, having a slightly better race than last race. Dukes is 6th at the moment, ahead of Chrysler. So these boys having a real battle, a real ding-dong over 6th place, and it's really nice to see both of these boys doing a really good job. And Dubs, probably the elder statesman of the lot in terms of race results. He's pulled some very good race results in other series. He'll be seeing whether he can capitalise on the relative novices, but we'll have to wait and see what they can do there. Now, what's happening out for the lead? It's the same old story again. It's Oz holding off from Graham, and Graham is trying to put Oz under more pressure than he did last time. He has caught up very quickly, so there is an opportunity here for Porsche to take their first victory of the season. But you know what? Oh no, Mark! Oh, we didn't see the start of that, but we saw the result of it. Mark drops down to 5th place. Dom's back up to 4th. Dom's just been chipping away at this rather quietly, and is having some really good race time. But I feel dreadful for Mark there. I thought he was on for another podium. It's not to be this time. So far, of course, because we still have a third of the race left to run, as we watch Dubs try and do battle with the Chrysler, who's doing a grand job. It's Ford versus BMW in reverse order, actually, because BMW ahead at the moment. Interesting colours on Dubs' car. It's very bold, let's say. Looks like something from the circus, but certainly distinctive. And he just can't get ahead of Chrysler at the moment. Out in front though, Graham has taken the lead. Oh, we missed that. We missed that moment. It's happened though. The Porsche takes the lead for the first time, and we could be on for 2 different winners in the first 2 races. That would be really good to see. What I also want to see is 3 different winners in all 3 races. There's 12 drivers here. It's random grid. It's really, really good to mix it up. But the key thing is, for these 2 boys, is that they're racking up really decent points in the first 2 races of the season. Lee is just quietly chipping away, actually. He's up to 3rd place, courtesy of Mark's spin, unfortunately. But Lee chipping away more good points in this one. Dom's going to be doing fairly well in the standings as well by this 4th place, if things continue as they are. But it's now Oz's turn to feel what it's like in the dirty air, and I think he's going to struggle, because in the first race when Graham was in the dirty air, he still looked like the quicker car. I think now that Graham's got clean air, he will be able to pull away a bit. And these are the bits of the track where the BMW's on his car. Oh no, Oz made a big mistake there. I thought he was going to lose it entirely, but recovers it beautifully. That was a lot of curb he took actually, because it's actually taking time back, but he may get a track limits infringement for that. That was quite ambitious over the curbing, but Oz maintains the lead for now. Graham maintains the lead for now, apologies. And further back, what we've got going on, so Dubs has dropped way back, so Dubs unfortunately must have made a mistake. He's fallen right back, and we've got Coops and Chrysler having a good battle. It's the battle of the BMWs. Chrysler really, in many ways, being the more impressive of the two BMW drivers so far. Careful boys, you're almost touching down the straight. You need to give each other space, whatever you do, give each other space. Oh, Chrysler gets nerfed a little bit. I don't know if there was contact or whether he just realised where Coops' car was and decided better of it. But keep it together, Chrysler, because even finishing in 8th is no bad thing. You're going to be picking up points, and that would be very pleasing. As Oz Phillips tries to put Graham under pressure once more, we come through the final turns. We're going to go on board with the, I'd love to have said on board with the Ford, but it's on board with the BMW as we head down the straight, and Graham is out safely this time, so that's he's safe as we head on to the final lap. Oz is going to give it his all, I'm sure, and Graham makes a big mistake. Mistakes like that are dangerous. That's very risky because we are on the final lap, and now that's enabled Oz to stay well within a second. There is still an opportunity for the race lead to change hands once more, I'm sure of it. Lee is third, and he's just getting ever so slightly closer to these boys, as I think they're catching up Andy's Nissan. They are. So Andy running at the back, unfortunately, he's really struggling with that Nissan in this race. And we do not have long to go in this. I think Oz might have done enough. Andy gets out the way, does the right thing, and then Nissan is going to get out the way of second place man. He does. Do you know what? Andy earns some good respect for that, because he's struggling in that car, but he's not. He's made sure he stays out the way of other people's races, so that's good. And coming up to the line for the first time this season, Porsche win in the hands of Graham. So that's two different winners in the first two races of the season. Porsche win. They won 3 times last year in the hands of Oz Phillips, but I got the feeling they're going to win a few more this year in Graham's hands with the performances put in so far. Great job by Oz Phillips though for second place. Remember, Graham came from a long way back, so Graham really did do the business in that race. Lee's third, Mark recovers to 4th, so that's not so bad. He actually finishes ahead of Dom. Still a good result for Dom. Track limits infringement, I think, for Dom as well there. Dude is going to come across the line in a brilliant 6th place, so we've got Porsche's 1st and 6th. Coops is going to be 7th. Chrysler is 8th. Sam Ninjanwo recovers to 9th, and Dubs will pick up the final point in the Ford in 10th. Not exactly what Dubs is after. He wants a big point, but it's points nonetheless. Unfortunately, Andy and Bingham unable to score points again in this race.